Hello, future mathematician. Welcome to paper 2 grade 12. So I streamed this question paper today around 4, but my whiteboard it was not visible. So I have to do this question again. Okay, let's start with question 1. Question 1, they said a truck driver traveled a certain distance and have a rest before traveling further. A driver kept the record of a distance he traveled in kilometers on 8 trips and the amount of time he rested in minutes before he continued his journey. The information is given in the table below. So, okay, we have a distance traveled in kilometer, which is represented by x. We have the amount of rest time in minutes, which is represented by y. So first question, they said determine the equation of the last square regression line for the data. So okay, in order to determine our regression line, we need to use our calculator and insert the data in our calculator. So we're going to press shift, start, then we're going to press number 2. So let's punch our x value 180, 200, 400, 600, 170, 350, 270, 300. Okay, now let's punch our y value. So it's going to be 20, 25, 55, and 120, 15, 50, 40, 45. So then after you're going to press AC, then we're going to press shift 1, then we're going to press 5, which is reg. So the equation of the last square regression line is written in this form. Y is equals to A plus BX. So in our calculator, we need to find the value of A and the value of B. So if you press shift 1 and press 5, we are going to press 1. So our value of A is going to be negative 23.846. Then press AC, then press shift 1, 5. Then you are going to press 2, so we can get the value of B. So it's going to be negative 0.227. So our equation is going to be y is equals to negative 23.846 plus 0 plus 227x. So this is the equation of a regression. So 1.2, they said if the truck driver traveled 550 kilometers, predict the amount of time in minutes that he should rest before continuing his journey. So we are given what? We are given 550 kilometers, and we need to predict our y value because this one is our x value. So in order to predict this value, we are going to use our equation. So we're going to say y is equals to negative 23.846 plus 0.227. Then you're going to substitute 550. Then after that, you are going to punch on your calculator negative 23.846 plus 0.007, then 550. So we are going to get our time of 101.004. So you can simply round this number and say y is equals to what? If you are told to round the answer, 101. So okay, let's go to 1.2. 1.2, they said they write the correlation coefficient for the data. So for this one, you are going to say 1.3. So you're asked to write the correlation. So you're going to your calculator, press shift press 1, press 4, no, press 5, regression. Yes, we're still working with the regression. You press 5, then you will find R is equals to. Then we find our regression to be 0.98. Okay, so we'll go to 1.4. So 1.4, they said what? Interpret your answer to question 1.3. So to interpret this one, you're going to say, you need to know what? You need to know the direction and the strength. So if you check our correlation is what? Is positive. That's the direction. And then if you check this number is close to what? To 1. So we can consider this one as a strong. So you can say very strong positive correlation. So that's our answer for 1.4. So 1.5, they say, at each stop, the truck driver spent money buying food and other refreshments. The amount spent in rands is given in the table below. Calculate the mean amount of money he spent at each stop. So, okay, first of all, in order to get our mean, you can either use a calculator or just calculate. But let's use a calculator. Why? Because if you check the second question, it's going to ask a standard deviation, which is 1 mark. So in order to get our answer, we use a calculator. So you're going to press mode, then you're going to press start, then you're going to press number 1. So it's only X. So you're going to punch 100, 150, 120, 200, 50, 180, 200, 90. So AC. And then after, now we can do what? We can press shift 1. Then you're going to press number 4, which is var. So you're going to see this in your calculator. So if you see this, punch that one, you're going to find your mean. And we find our mean as what? 150. But check, they said calculate the mean. And this question is 2 marks. So you can't just write this answer and expect to get 2 marks. So you must do calculations. So calculator is going to give you like a clue what your answer is going to be. So we are going to say 1.5.1. So in order to get our mean, there is a formula which is 1 over n, sum of I is equals to 1, then x1, xi. So let's check how many data do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8, so meaning is going to be 8 here. So, okay, here we're going to do what? We're going to say 1 over 8. Then we're going to say, we're going to add all those numbers. This one, 100, 150, 130, 250, up until 190. So we're going to say 100 plus 150 plus 130, 200, 130 plus 200 plus up until 190. So adding all those numbers, let's check what we get. So it's 100, 150, 130, 250, 180, 200, and 190. So when I punch this number, we're going to get 1,200. So divide by 8. Let's check what we get. Yes, we get 150. And when we use our calculator, we also get our mean as 150. So, okay, let's check the second question. The second question is 1.5.2. Calculate the standard deviation for the date. So to calculate the standard deviation, let's simply use our calculator because it's 1 mark. So you're going to press Shift 1, then 4, which is var. Then you will see something like this in your calculator. Press that, and then that's your standard deviation. So I get my standard deviation as 50.497. So if I round this number, it's the same thing as 50.50. So my standard deviation is what? Is 50.50 using a calculator. So this one, they are going to give you 1 mark because this one is 1 mark. Here they are going to give you 2 marks. So okay, let's check. Okay, we are done with this one. Let's go to question 2. Okay, here's question 2. So question 2, they said at a certain school, the staff committee wanted to determine how many glasses of water the staff member drank during a school day. All teachers present on a specific day were interviewed. The information is shown in the table below. So we have number of glasses of water drank per day and the number of staff members. So question 2.1, they said complete the cumulative frequency column provided in the table in the answer book. So okay, since I don't have an answer book, let me just create a column here. So here's my column. So I'm going to put this. So okay, the name of this one is going to be what? It's going to be cumulative frequency. So okay, in order to complete the cumulative frequency, what you need to do, you're going to say this 5 and put it here, right? Then 5 plus 15 is what? As 20. Then now you're going to say 20 plus 13 is what? Is 33. 33 plus 5 is what? Is 38. 38 plus 2 is what? Is 40. So okay, now we are done with what? 2.1. So this is the answer. So 2.2, they said how many staff members were interviewed. So if you want to know the total number of staff members that were interviewed, you're going to take the last number, which is 40. So there were 40 staff members. So okay, let's check this one. This one, they said how many staff members drank fewer than 6 glasses of water during a school day. So okay, checking to our graph, to our table, we're going here. So let's take X is the what? Is the number of staff member that drank fewer than 6 glasses of water during a school day. So and we can see that here X is fewer than 6. So we are going to check. We don't check the number of staff members. We check what? The cumulative frequency. And then we take this number that is corresponding to this interval. So it is what? Is 33. So meaning here you're going to write is 33 staff members that drank fewer than what? 6 glasses of water during a school day. So it's 33 staff members. So okay, let's go to the last question. There's a last question. They said the staff member the staff committee observed that K teachers were absent on the day of the interview. It was found that half of those K teachers drank from 0 to fewer than 2 glasses of water per day, while the remainder of them drank from 4 to fewer than 6 glasses of water per day. When those K teachers are included in the data, the estimated mean is what? Is 4. So, okay, it's 4 glasses of water per staff member per day. So now they want to know what? How many teachers were absent on the day of the interview. So they are saying when we include the teachers that were absent during the day, the mean is what? Is 4. So meaning now we need to calculate the mean for what? For this table, for the data that were presented on that day. So in order to calculate the mean, we're going to take the number that is in between this interval, which is 1, and multiply it by 5. Okay, but here we take the number that is in between, is 3, multiply it by 15. Even here we're going to take the number that is in between, is what? Is 5, and multiply by 13. Same with this one, 7 multiplied by 5. Here is going to be 9 multiplied by 2. Then after that, we sum everything and divide it by what? By the total number of staff members that were available at that day. So, okay, let me open a new whiteboard. So, is what? Is 2.4. So, I'm saying we're going to say to find our mean for the staff member that we interview during that day, we're going to say 1 times 5. So 1 times 5, 3 times 15, so plus 3 times 15 plus here is going to be 5 times 13, 5 times 13 plus here we're going to say 7 times 5, 7 times 5 plus here we're going to say what? 9 times 2, 9 times 2. So this one we're going to say all over what? Total number of staff member. So we're going to get how many? We're going to get let's calculate this. So when we calculate this, we get 4.2. So this is our mean. So now we need to do what? We need to go back. So we are told that when those K teachers are included in the interval, the estimated mean is 4 glasses of water per staff member per day. So here we need to do what? We need to say this old staff member minus the one that were included. We're going to get how many? We're going to get 0.2. So this one is going to give us how many staff members they were absent at that day. So we're going to say 0.2 times 40 in order to get the percentage of people that were not available at that day. So 8 people or 8 staff members, they were not available at that day when they performed this interview to check how many people spend the day, how many number of glasses of water they drank per day. Okay, I'm done with this one. Let's go to question 3. So question 3 is an analytical geometry. So, okay, here they said in the figure we have L, which is -4 and 1, we have S, which is 4 and 5, and we have N, which is -2 and -3, are the vectors of a triangle having SLN, which is 90 degrees, and we have LN that intersect x-axis at K. Yes, we can see that. So here, first question 3.1, they said calculate the length of what? Of SL. Leave your answer in a squared form. So we need to calculate this length, SL. So in order to calculate the length Sn, we're going to say length SL is equals to square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So, okay, now we need to put the coordinate of S, which is 4 and 5, and then L, which is -4 and 1. So let's calculate the distance. So it's going to be 4 minus 4 squared plus 5 minus 1 squared. So if we calculate this one, it's going to give us what? It's going to give us, this one is 8 squared plus 4 squared. So it's going to be 64 plus 16 all squared. So which is going to give us what? 80. So if we check the square root of 80, it's going to be 4 root 5 units. So this is the length. So our length is what? Is 4 root 5. Okay, now they said calculate the gradient of Sn. Gradient of Sn, since we have the coordinates, this one and this one, so it's going to be easy. So we're going to say 3.2, and gradient of Sn is going to be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, then value of S is what? Coordinate of S is 4 and 5. And then of N is what? It's -2 and -3. -2 and -3. So here we're going to say 5 minus 3, 4 minus 2. So if we punch this one, we're going to get our answer as what? Okay, going to get our answer is 4/3. So now we have our gradient, which is 4/3. Gradient of Sn is equals to, let me write it here. Gradient of Sn is equals to 4/3. So now they said calculate the angle of theta, the angle of inclination of Sn. So this one, they are looking for this theta. So in order to calculate this angle, we need to use the gradient, since we have the gradient, to calculate this angle. So we're going to say what? 3.3, we're going to say tan of theta is equals to gradient Sn. So we're going to say 4/3. Okay, so theta is going to be tan, second function, 4/3. So our answer is going to be 53.13 degrees. So that's our value for theta. So okay, now they said what? Calculate the size of LNS. LNS. So they are looking for this angle. They are looking for this angle. So since we have this length and this length, we don't have this length, but we can calculate this length. And we are told that this is a right angle triangle. Why? Because here is 90 degrees. So we can use what? Opposite of hypotenuse. So we can use sine ln s is equals to opposite, which is what? 4 over 5 over this one. We didn't calculate, so we are going to calculate this one in order to find our answer for angle LNS. So let's calculate the distance between SN. So okay, let me write it there. So first we're going to calculate the distance SN. So I hope you know the formula by now, so I'm just simply going to substitute the values. Sn is equals to square root. Then we have our points, which is 4 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 3 squared. So negative 4 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 3 squared. So I get my distance as what? 10 units. So distance Sn is going to be 10 units. So okay, now I can simply say what? Sine of what? LNS is equals to what? 4 root 5 over 10. Remember, I'm going to use this one as I analyze this diagram and concluded that since it's a right angle triangle, I can use the trig ratios. So now it's going to be what? It's going to be LNS is equals to sine second function 4 root 5 divided by 10. So let's check what is the answer. 4 root 5 divided by 10. So my answer is going to be 63.43 degrees. So meaning the value for this angle is what? Is 63.43 degrees. Okay. So now they said determine the equation of the line which passes through L and is parallel to Sn. Sn is this one. So there is a line somewhere here that is parallel to this line. Write your answer in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. So okay. So I have a line somewhere here. Yeah, let's say this is the line. And we are told that this line is parallel to what? To this line. So in order to write the equation in the form of y is equals to mx plus c, we need to do what? We need to know the gradient of this line. And since we know the gradient of this line, which is what? M is equals to what? 4 over 3. So even the gradient of what? Of this line, let's take maybe it's LR. I'm just labeling it as LR. So even the gradient of what? Of LR is going to be 4 over 3. The reason is because both lines are parallel, so they also share the same gradient. So we can simply calculate our equation now using this point. So let's calculate now. So it's 3.4. So y is equals to 4 over 3 x x plus c. So we are going to use coordinate L, which is -4 and what? And 1. So here we're going to say this is y, this is x. So we're going to say 1 is equals to -4/3 and then -4 plus c. So this one, oh, sorry, here is positive. I'm making a mistake. So here is going to be -16/3 plus c. Here is 1. So we are going to take 16 to the other side. So get c is equals to 1 plus 16/3. 16/3 plus 1. So I get my answer as what? 19/3. So our y is going to be 4/3 x plus 19/3. So this is the equation. So let's go to the next question. So the next question, they said, calculate the area of a triangle LSN. So in order to calculate this area, so since we have this height, this is our height, we don't have our breadth, we can simply calculate our breadth, and then yes, that's it. So we need to calculate our the distance LN. So because we know area of a triangle LSN is going to be 1/2 breadth times height. So we're using this formula. So first, but we need to calculate what? The length. 3.6. So we already have length LS, which is what? 4/5. Let's check again. So I'm saying we already have this length LS. We already calculated that one. So now we need to calculate this one using the coordinate L and N. So Ln is going to be, so since you know the formula, I'm not going to write the formula. I'm just going to substitute. So you're going to substitute -4 minus -2 squared plus 1 minus -3 squared. So I'm using L coordinate and coordinate what? N, which is what? Which is L is -4 and 1, and then N is what? Is -2 and -3. So here, when I use my calculator, let me check. So I get my answer as 2/5 units. So now I can simply say the area of a triangle LNS is equals to 1/2 breadth times height. So 1/2, our breadth is 2/5, then our height is 4/5. So calculating this one is going to be 1/2, 2/5, then 4/5. So I get my answer as 20 units squared. So okay, let's go to the next question. The next question, they said, calculate the coordinate of P, which is equidistant from LSN. So, okay, to calculate the coordinate of P, which is the equidistance, for this one, you need to understand something. So you need to investigate the name of the triangle. So since this triangle is a right angle triangle, the equidistance, you're going to locate your hypotenuse and then take the midpoint of the hypotenuse, and that is going to be your P. Why? Because equidistance is the example, is the distance, is the equal distance. So meaning is what is PS as equals to what? PN. So first, if you're given a triangle which is not a right angle triangle, you need to make that triangle a right angle triangle. Then after that, locate your hypotenuse. Then after locating your hypotenuse, that's where you will take the midpoint of that line. Then after that, you will calculate your P. So now we need to do what? We need to say 3.7. P is equals to what? X1 plus X2 divided by 2, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. So using what? Using the hypotenuse side. So I need to know the coordinates of S is 4 and 5, and N is -2 and -3. So here S is 4 and 5, and then N is -2 and -3. So you're going to say 4 minus 2 divided by 2. 5 minus what? 3 divided by 2. So here you're going to get 2 divided by 2. Here you're going to get 2 divided by 2. So the coordinate P is what? Is 1 and 1. So let's go to the next question. So the next question, they said calculate the size of LPS. LPS. So here you're going to draw a line. Okay, so they are looking for what? For this angle here. So, okay, there is something you need to know. So, since we already calculated this length and find it to be 10, so now I said for equidistance, the distance between P and S is the same distance between P and N. So, meaning here is going to be 5, even here is going to be 5. So now we need to calculate what? The distance between LP is also going to be 5 because what? It's an equidistance, but let's calculate that one to be sure. Because sometimes if you don't know the properties of equidistance, that's going to be a problem. That's why I'm saying let's calculate. They're not going to penalize you if you calculate. So we are going to, let me erase this. So I'm saying we're going to calculate the distance between L, which is -4 and 1, and P, which is 1 and what? And 1. So distance LP is going to be square root. Since you know the formula, so it's -4 minus 1 squared plus 1 minus 1 squared. So this one is going to give us what? It's going to give us -5 squared. So which is what? 25, and the answer is what? 5 units. That's why I said it's also going to be 5. So here is what? Is 5. So since we have a triangle that has all sides, we know the distance of all the sides. We can use a trig cosine rule to find what? To find the value of LPS. We can use trigonometry, yes. I know this topic is not trigonometry, but we can use trigonometry in order to find the length, the angle. So you are going to say what? You are going to say SL squared is equals to LP squared plus SP squared minus 2 LP SP cos of what? Cos of LPS. Yes. So since we know, let me substitute that here so that okay, no, let's go and substitute this side. So it's the last question, which is 3.8. So I'm saying now we can substitute the distance SL as what? As 4 root 5 squared. The distance LP is what? Is 5. And the other distance PS is 5 squared minus 2, then 5, cos of what? Of LPS. So here we're going to get our, here we are going to get 80 is equals to, here's 25 plus 25 minus this and this is 25. 25 by 2 is 50. Cos of what? LPS. So this one is also going to be 50. So negative 50 cos of what? LPS is going to be 80 minus this 50. So our answer is going to be what? It's going to be 30, then negative 50 cos of what? LPS. So now we need to divide by negative 50. So cos LPS is going to be what? 30 divided by negative 50, which is the same as negative 3 over 5. So LPS is going to be cos second function negative 3 over 5. So LPS is going to be what? 126.87 degrees. So we now know the coordinate of what? Of this one, which is 126.87 degrees. So now let's go to the fourth question, question 4, a circle. So here we are given in the diagram the circle with center O as equation, which is this one, and G is the center of the larger circle, and a common tangent touches the circle at D and F respectively, such that D is what? Is P, and negative 2 lies in the fourth quadrant. So first question, they said what? Calculate, given that D is equals to P and negative 2, which lies where? On the smaller circle. Show that P is equals to what? S equals to 4. So how can we show that? We are going to use the equation in order to show that. The equation we're given what? The equation x squared plus y squared is equals to 20. Right, yes. So we have D, which is P and negative 2. And we want to show that P is equals to what? 4. So let's substitute this point, because this point is in this equation. So we're going to say p squared plus negative 2 squared is equals to 20. So it's p squared, this was going to be 4, this one is going to be 20. So we're going to take 4 to the other side, is going to be p squared is equals to 20 minus 4 is 16. So square root of what? Of p is going to be positive or negative. And then square root of 16 is going to be what? 4. So the answer is what? Therefore, our p is equals to 4. So now we know that this coordinate is what? Is 4 and what? Negative 2. So, okay, now they said 4.2 E is 6 and 2 is the midpoint of what? Of DF. Okay, E is the midpoint of DF. Determine the coordinate of D. So, okay, this one is going to be simple. We are given E as a midpoint, which is what? 6 and 2. And we already calculated D, or if you fail to calculate D, just need to know that P is what? Is 4, and then the other one is negative 2. So use this point and this point in order to find this. So how can we do that? We can use a midpoint formula. So we're going to say x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is equals to x midpoint. Then other one is going to be, y. It's going to be y1 plus y2 divided by 2 is equals to y midpoint, right? Yes. So now let's take our points. So our points is E, which is 6 and what? And 2. Then the other point, which is D, is 4 and what? Negative 2. This is the point, this is the midpoint. E is a midpoint. So you're going to say x1 is what? Is 4 plus x2, we don't know, is the one at F that we are looking for. Divided by 2 is equals to. Then this is x midpoint, which is 6. So we can simply do cross multiplication. So it's going to be 4 plus x2 is equals to 12. So now taking 4 to the other side is going to be x2 is equals to 12 minus 4, which is equals to what? 8. Yes. So even this side, we're going to say y1 is what? Is negative 2. Don't confuse the point. It's negative 2. This one is the midpoint, guys. Don't confuse this point. So here we're going to say what? Negative 2 is y1 plus y2 is the one at F, which we don't know. And then 2 is the midpoint. So cross multiplication is going to be 4. Taking 4 to the other side, we're going to get y2 is equals to what? Is equals to 6. So now we can say, therefore, our F is what? Is 8 and 6. Okay, now they say what? Determine 4.8, determine the equation of the common tangent df in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. So, okay, now we have this coordinate df. But guys, don't use f even if you're confident that the value of f, you calculated it and you find it to be 8 and 6. Don't use that point. Why? Because you're going to mess up. What if that point is wrong? What if that point is wrong? So use the point that you are given. E, you are given that is 6 and 2. D, you're also given that is 4 and 2. Why? Because here you're also told that P is equals to 4, so you're given. So calculating the gradient DE is the same thing calculating the gradient DF. So I don't think they will penalize you. It's being smart. So you are going to say 4.3. Gradient DE is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So D is what is 4 and negative 2. Then E you are given, both of them you are given is what? Is 6 and 2. Let's check again. Yeah, 6 and 2. Yes, that's correct. So then after that you are going to say what? You are going to say negative 2 minus 2 over what? 4 minus 6. So using our calculator, we're going to get our answer as what? As 2. So our gradient is 2. So okay, now we can use any point between D and E to find the equation. So we can say y is equals to 2x plus c. So let's take E. So it's 2 is equals to 2, 6 plus c. This one is going to be 12. Then taking 12 to the other side is going to be a negative what? 10. So now you can conclude and say, therefore, our equation is what? Is 2x minus 10. So now let's go to this question. This question, they said, calculate the value of t. Show all working. Calculating the value of t. Okay. Since we have this coordinate, this one, f. Yeah. Now we don't have a choice. We need to use that coordinate, which is 8 and 6. So, and also the gradient of this line, which is 2. Okay, this line is perpendicular to this one, which form 90 degrees. Why? Because it's a line from center to what? To tangent. So it forms 90 degrees here. So okay, we can say what? Gradient of what? Of DE times gradient of what? FG is equals to negative 1. Why? Because those lines are perpendicular, or line drawing from center of a circle to a tangent. So this one we know is what? Is 2 times MFG is equals to negative 1. So we need to divide here by 2. So we know gradient of FG is equals to what? Negative 1 over 2. So we also have a gradient of what? Negative 1 over 2. So to find this point, we are going to use another technique, which is going to be this 4.4. So we're going to say y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is equals to gradient of what? Of fg. So okay, I said we have point F, which is 8 and 6, right? Yes. And we have G, which is what? T and 0. So let's substitute. And also have a gradient FG. Also have a gradient FG, which is what? Negative 1 over 2. So here, let's take this one. 6 minus 0 divided by 8 minus t is equals to what? Is equals to negative 1 over 2. So, okay, cross multiplication. This 2 is going to cross multiply with this one. So it's going to be 12 is equals to what? Negative 8 minus t. So this one is going to be, say, negative 8 plus t, 12. Then we take 8 to the other side, is going to be 12 plus 8, which is what? T is equals to 20. So now we know our coordinates. G is what? Is 20 and what? And 0. So, okay, we're done with this one. So now we're coming to this one. Now this one is determine the equation of a larger circle in the form of this. So okay, in order to calculate this one, we have this coordinate which is 20 and 0 and this point. So first of all, we need to calculate, we need to know the equation of a circle as this. So calculating r squared is the distance is the same as x2 minus x1 squared plus what? y2 minus y1 squared. So this thing is the same as what? As 8 minus 20 squared plus what? 6 minus what? 0 squared. So if we punch our calculator, 20 minus 8 minus 20 and 6 minus 0, get our answer is 180. Right. So okay, let me erase this. So we have x minus a squared plus y minus b squared. Our r is what? 180. We calculated our r. So we have g is the center of a circle, which is 20 and 0. So we need to substitute here. A and b is our angle at the center. So it's x minus 20 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equals to 180. So this one is the same as x squared minus 40 x plus 400 plus what? Y squared is equals to 180. So adding the like terms is going to be 400 minus 180, taking 180 to inside is going to be positive 220 is equals to 0. So now we wrote our equation of a circle as this equation. So now we need to go to the last question. So the last question, they said the smaller circle must be translated by k units along the x-axis to touch the larger circle internally. Calculate the possible values of k. Okay, this one you need to know something. So they said what? This circle, the smaller circle, might be translated by some k units. So this is the point, k units in order to touch the larger circle internally. What is the possible value? So okay, so you need to know something. The distance between what? Between these 2 points is equals to the distance between the difference of what? Of the radius. So now since we have r squared, which is r squared, that was 180. Yes, r squared, it was 180. Let me check again. Yes, it was 180. So since it was 180, so here we are just going to say what? Square root of 180. Square root of 180. So we get our radius as what? As 6 root 5. Then for the smaller circle, we are going to say 20 squared is equals to what? R squared is equals to 20. So R is going to be what? Square root of 20 is what? Is 2 root 5. So I'm saying in order to calculate by how many k units for the smaller circle to touch the larger circle internally, you are going to say the difference between these two lines. So let's calculate the distance between these two lines. So since this one is 20, so and since it's a what? Is a horizontal, you are just going to say absolute value of what? Of 20 minus k. So the distance between what? Between this coordinates must be equals to what? To the difference of what? Of the radius. The difference of radius, it means R2 minus R1. But need to be twice. Why? Because we can't just shift only one radius. We also need to shift the other radius, so it's going to be twice. So here we're going to be twice R2 minus R1. So okay, let me open a new whiteboard. So I'm saying absolute value 20 minus k units is equals to twice R2 minus R1. And we know that R2 is what? Is 6 root 5. And R2 is what? Yeah, R1 is 2 root 5. So calculating this one, let's check what is the answer. So calculating this one is going to give us wait, sorry, I made a mistake here. We are not supposed to put this 2 here. We're supposed to shift only this radius, sorry. We're supposed to shift of only one radius. Because if we shift this one, now we're shifting the circle 2 times, and which is going to be inside the, okay, no. We're only going to shift only one radius, sorry about that. So here, this one is going to give us what? Is going to give us 4 over 5. So, okay, now we know absolute value is going to be 20 minus k, and then here is going to be positive or negative 4 root what? 5. So, okay, now it's going to be 20 minus k is equals to negative 4 over 5, or 20 minus k is equals to positive 4 root 5. So then taking k outside is going to be positive. Then taking this one inside is going to be positive 4 root 5. Or then taking k outside is going to be k. 20. Taking this one inside is going to be negative 4 root 5. So this is how you interpret this one. So if you don't understand, please comment down on the comment section. I'll try to answer you. So okay, let's go to, okay, we're done with this one. Guys, I will stop at question 5. I'll stop here for today. So let's try to solve this one, and then after this one, that's where I will stop. So here we're given beta is equals to what? Sine beta is equals to 1 over 3, where beta is the element of 90 degree to what? 270 degree. Without the use of a calculator, determine each of the following cos beta. So okay, before we solve this question 5.1, we need to draw our graph. We need to sketch our graph. So okay, we are given what? Sine beta is equals to 1 over 3. So okay, and we are also given that beta is the element of what? 90 to 270 degree. So okay, since sine is what? Is y over r. So our y is positive where? Only this side. So our line, we're going to draw a line here. So then we close here. Why? Because here we are guided by what? By y is positive only up. So our hypotenuse is what? Is 3. Then our opposite is y. So beta is here. So now we need to calculate our x. So we're going to say r squared is equals to x squared plus y squared. So okay, now we are going to say 3 squared is equals to x squared, we don't know, but y is 1 squared. This one is going to be 9 is equals to x squared plus 1. So this one is the same as x squared is equals to what? 8. So square root of 8 is going to be positive or negative. So let's check square root of 8. So square root of 8 is going to be positive or negative 2 root 2. But since this side is negative and this side is positive, x is negative this side and x is positive this side. So we need to conclude that, therefore, our x is negative 2 root 2. So here is negative 2 root 2. So 5.1.1, they said we need to calculate what? Cos beta. So cos beta, we're going to our graph. Cos is what? Adjacent of a hypotenuse. So it's going to be negative 2 root 2 divided by what? 3. That's it. So 5.1.2. So you're going to get your 3 marks for doing that. For doing this, they are also going to give you for drawing the sketch, because you can't find cos beta without drawing the sketch. So they are going to give you 3 marks for that. So okay, now let's go to this one, 5.2 sine 2 beta. So sine 2 beta, we can represent this one as 2 sine beta cos what? Beta. So okay, it's 2 sine beta cos beta. So okay, what is sine beta? We're already given here. Or we can come and interpret this opposite of a hypotenuse, 1 over 3. What is cos beta? Cos beta is adjacent of a hypotenuse. So it's going to be negative 2 over 2 divided by what? 3. Negative 2 over 2 divided by 3. So this one is going to give us what? Negative 4 root 2 over what? Over 9. So they're going to give you, I think it's 3 marks. Yeah, I'm going to give you 3 marks for that. So okay, now let's go to this one. 5.1.3. You are given cos 450 degree minus beta. So there's something you need to know. This one cos 360 plus 90 minus beta is the same thing as this one. So I can simply write this one as what? Cos 360 plus 90 minus beta. This thing is the same thing as this one. So it's simple like cos 360 degree plus y. So the answer is going to be what? Cos y. So it's the same thing. Didn't change anything. So this one is the same thing as what? As cos 90 minus what? Beta. And this is a cofunction. So it's what? It's sine beta. And sine beta we're given here. You can also interpret if you want. It's opposite of hypotenuse. So which is 1 over 3. 1 over 3. So they are going to give you 3 marks for this. So okay, let's go to the following question. Given cos 4x plus sine square x cos square x over 1 plus sine x. So they want to prove, they want us to prove this left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So okay, how can we prove this? We are going to write 5.2.1. Okay, so we're using left hand side, right? So cos 4x plus sine square x cos square x divided by what? 1 plus sine x. So here we can take the common factor because there is a common factor this side and this side. So we can take cos squared x into cos squared x plus what? Sine squared x divided by what? 1 plus sine x. So we know this one inside the bracket is equals to what? 1. Cos square x plus sine square x is the same thing as 1. So here we're going to have what? We're going to have cos squared x over what? 1 plus sine x. And we can change this one here to be 1 minus sine squared x divided by 1 plus sine squared, no, sorry, it's not squared here, x. So this one is the perfect square, is the same thing as x minus 1 minus x squared. So this one we can simplify it to be 1 minus x and 1 plus x. Oh, no, sorry. 1 plus x. Because if you times this and this is going to be 1, this and this is going to be positive x, this and this is going to be what? Negative x, and this is going to be what? Negative x squared. So this is going to cancel each other. So this one is going back where? It's going back here. So even here, we're going to apply that rule. So here is the same thing as 1 minus sine x and 1 plus sine x divided by 1 plus sine x. So we can simply do what? Cancel this one and this one. And the answer that we are left with is what? Is 1 minus sine x. And if you check, we are required to prove that this left hand side is equal to this. So now we can conclude and say left hand side is equal to right hand side. Okay, let's check. Yes, we found this one to be what? To be 1 minus sine x. So we have 4 marks. So now this one, they said for which values of x in the interval x is the element of 0 degree to what? To 360 degrees. Is this function undefined? So this function, you need to know something. This function is what? It's a fraction. So in order to make this fraction undefined is when we have 0 as our what? As our denominator. Because if you check by using your calculator, 4 divided by 0 is what? Is undefined. X divided by 0 is what? Is undefined. So now we can simply say what? 1 plus sine x, it has to be equals to 0 so that it can make this function undefined. So let's try to solve that. 5.2.2, 1 plus sine x is equals to 0. So you're going to say sine x is equals to negative 1. So this one is a what? It's a reference angle. So you're going to say sine x is equals to what? 1. So x is equals to sine second function 1. So if you use your calculator and check that one, we get our x as what? 90 degrees. But since this one is a negative angle, a reference angle, we need to know where sine is negative. Sine is negative in the third quadrant and what? And fourth quadrant. So we need those values. So it's going to be x is equals to what? 180 minus this 90. No, not minus, plus, because here the thing is what? Is 180 plus theta. So it's going to be plus. Sorry about that. So if we add this one, we're going to get what? 270 degree. So let's check the other one. The other one is what? Is x is equals to 360 minus 90. So even here, we're going to get our x as what? 270 degrees. So this is the value of x that will make what? This function to be undefined. Because you can use a calculator and check 1 plus sine 270 is what? Is 0. So 0 divided by this function here is going to be undefined. So here they said write down the minimum value of the function defined by this function. So they are looking for the minimum value. So you can notice that this function is the same thing as this function. And we have proved that this function is the same thing as what? 1 minus. When we simplify that function, it's the same thing as 1 minus sine x. So let's plot this graph in order to do what? In order to find the minimum value. Because we can't just guess, we need to know where the value is coming from. So here's negative 180, negative 90, 0, 90, 180, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2. So y is equals to 1 minus sine x. So 1 minus sine negative 180 is what? Is 1. Use your calculator to locate those points. So let's check negative 90. Negative 90 is what? Is 2. So it's this point. Let's check with 0. 0 is 1. Let's check with 90. 90 is 0. Okay, let's check with 180. 180 is 1. So our graph is going to be like this. So you can see that the minimum value is what? Minimum value is 0. And the maximum value is what? Is 2. But for this question, they were looking for what? For the minimum value. So minimum value is what? Is 2. The maximum value is 1. Minimum value is 0. Maximum value is 2. So we are done. So, okay, let's come to 5.3. 5.3, they said the given cos A minus B is equals to cos A, cos B plus sin A, sin B. Use the above identity to deduce that sin A minus B is equals to sin A, cos B minus cos A, and sin B. So 5.3.1. So sin A minus B, we're going to use this one. We're going to use the one that is above the cos A minus B, and we're given that is what is cos A cos B plus what? Sin A sin B. We're given these guys, don't forget. So okay, we know using the cofunction cos 90 minus A minus B is going to give us what? It's going to give us this answer straight. It's going to give us sin A minus B. So, but here we are not solving this one. We want to solve this one using, we want to solve this one using this. So, okay. Now we need to do what? We need to say cos 90 minus A, right? Minus B. Okay. So we are using what? We are using this one to derive or deduce this function. So, okay, we know using this one is what? Is cos 90 minus A, and then, oh, here is B. Then cos, here's what? Negative B. Here, change the sign, so positive. So sine, what? 90 minus A, right? Then times what? Here, sine negative B. We use this one in order to do this one. So, okay, now cofunction of what? Of this one is sine A. Then this one, remember, is cos 360 minus A. Always a negative angle is like this. It's 360 minus that angle. So check this angle is where it's in the fourth quadrant, and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. So we can conclude and say this one is the same thing as what? Cos B. Then this one plus cofunction of this one is what? Is cos A, right? So this one is sine what? Is sine 360 minus that angle. And this one is in the fourth quadrant, but sine is negative where in the fourth quadrant. So it's negative what? Sine B. Negative sine B. So, okay, now multiplying everything, we get our answer as sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. So this is our answer. So let's check the next question. So next question, they said hence or otherwise determine the general solution of the equation. This is general solution, 5 marks. So for general solution, you can't afford to lose marks when it comes to general solution. It's a very simple thing. So 5.3.2, we're given sine 48 degree cos x minus cos 48 sine x is equals to cos 2x. Right? So, okay. So is what is sine cos sine. So let's use what hence. What do we know? We know we need to use the sine 48 degree minus x. Right? Yes. So is equals to this one. This one is the same thing as what? Sine 90 minus 2x. Do you agree with me? Because it's a cofunction. It's a cofunction of this one. If you want to, want to reverse this one, it can go back to this one. So okay, since we have sine, we can take the number inside the brackets, which is 48 degree minus x is equals to 90 minus what? 2x plus 360 k, where k is the element of integer. Right, okay, so this is the first quadrant. Remember, sine is positive where? In the first quadrant and second quadrant. So this is the first quadrant. We are still dealing with the first quadrant. So it's going to be taking this one, this side is going to be negative x plus 2x 90 degree. Then take this one to the other side, is going to be 48 degree plus 360 k, where k is the element of integer. So 90 minus 48 is 42 degrees. So this one is going to give us what? It's going to give us x. So we are done with that one. So let's go to the second one, where sine is what? Is also positive in the second quadrant. So you are going to start from here. So you're going to say 48 degree minus x is equals to 180 minus this angle. So it's going to be what? 90 minus 2x plus what? 360 k, where k is the element of integers. So now let's solve. This one is the same thing as 48 degree minus x is equals to, here is 180 degree, negative 90, negative 180 minus 90 is the same thing as what? As 90. So this one and this one is going to be positive 2x plus what? 360 k, where k is the element of integer. So now let's take the like terms. So this one is going to be negative 3x. This one, when it comes inside, is going to be 42 plus 360 k, where k is the element of integer. So we need to divide by negative 3, also divide here by negative 3. So our answer is going to be x is equals to 42 divided by 3, negative 3 is negative 14 minus 360 divided by negative 3 is negative 120 k, where k is the element of integer. So when you divide, you also divided this 360k. Don't make a mistake there. So this is our general solution, and this is our general solution. So we have two general solutions, which is this one and this one. Why? Because sine is positive in first quadrant and second quadrant. And I thank you. Let's check the, I think, I'm not sure if this is the last question. Yes, so let's check the last question of the paper. Okay, let me open a new whiteboard. No, I don't need this board. Let me use a green board. So, okay, for this one we have sine 3x plus sine x is equals to cos 2x plus 1. So, okay, first thing, I can simplify this by saying sine 3x, no, sorry, sine 2x plus x plus what? Sine 2x minus x, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Divide by what? This one I know is the same thing as what? Is the same thing as 2 cos squared x minus 1 plus 1. So okay, let's solve this one. So this one is the same thing as what? Sine 2x, right? Cos x, then plus cos 2x sine x. So let's go to the other one. So it's the same thing as sine 2x cos x minus what? Cos 2x sine x, right? So then this one, I can remove this, is the same thing as what? 2 cos squared x. So okay, let's collect the like terms. So let's check something. This one, cos x, cos 2x sine x, cos 2x sine x. This is positive, this is negative, so this cancel each other. So this one, sine 2x cos x sine 2x cos x is going to be 2 sine 2x cos x divided by 2 cos squared x. And we know that this one, we can change it to be, well, let's cancel the 2 first. So we know that sine 2x can be written as 2 sine x cos x. And we have cos x here, so it's going to be cos squared x divided by what? Divided by cos squared x. So this 2 is going to cancel each other. So the final answer is going to be 2 sine x. So okay guys, we'll end here for today. Thanks for watching, and thanks for myself. I wanted to do something, but for you guys I said let me also come back and do this question paper again. Even if I streamed this question paper 2 times today, it was a lesson for me, and I was not going to not post today. So thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video to other people so that we can build a community together. So if you have a question, you can comment on the comment section. But if you don't have, thanks for watching once again. Until I see you tomorrow, if I still have energy to do this question paper, to continue with this question paper. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, I guess there's no one who has questions, so let me end this stream. Thanks for watching once again. Until I see you next time.